Hello, my name is Elizabeth Court. I work for Kitsap County Department of Community Development. I do demographic and economic research. Today I'm going to share some interesting facts with you about Kitsap County. Our topic today is commuting. One of the most important things we need to understand about Kitsap County before we discuss commuting is the population size. We have about 250,000 residents inside Kitsap County. So, to get in your imagination, that would be about 100 Washington State ferries, about 50 aircraft carriers with their full crew complement, about 5 Safeco fields full of fans, or 1 Indianapolis Speedway full of fans, and that happens to be the country's largest stadium. One of the most important things we know about people having jobs is that usually often they come with a commute. When we look at the county, we see that people come into the county from other counties for work, and we also see that people leave the county, and some people live and work inside Kitsap County. So, if we look at some of the numbers from the United States Census Bureau, we know that about 22,000 workers come from other counties such as Mason, Jefferson, Clallam, and even King to work inside Kitsap County. We also know that about 41,000 workers leave Kitsap County for places like Seattle, Tacoma, Everett for work. And then we know that about 42,000 individuals both live and work inside Kitsap County. Now, if you look at this picture, it looks like some sort of diagram, a compass or so, but what it shows is the direction of how people commute. So this is a picture of how people commute, and you can see that most people are going to have an eastward commute. That's because there are the jobs in King, Snohomish, and Pierce County. Now, when we look at this second compass type graphic, we can see where people are coming from to come inside the county. So you can see most of the people, as we mentioned earlier, a lot of people are coming from Jefferson County and then also from Pierce and Mason County. Okay, specifically, where do people go when they leave Kitsap? From this graph, you can see that Seattle is the #1 destination. If they're also commuting within the county, Bremerton is where many of our residents work, and so forth. You can see there the picture as well as the graph that shows the locations. Now, why do we look at commuting, and why is that important? Well, one of the interesting things is when people leave the county and go work in another county, then they come home and they're going to typically spend a fair amount of their income within the county. So you can see here the line on top, which is the darker line, shows the percentage of income inside the county that is earned from people working outside of the county and coming into the county. The green line basically shows the opposite. That is people working, say, from people working in Kitsap County, say from Mason County, and then leaving the county. So these are very important facts when we look at the overall economy of the county. So what about commuting? Commuting and how do people get to work? Right now we know that approximately between 65% and 70% of the people inside Kitsap County commute to work alone. The average commute time is about 30 minutes. So again, some people might have a 2-hour commute and some people might have a 1-minute commute if they work from home, but this is the average amount of commuting time. Okay. So when we look at traffic volumes, we need to see that commuting can be compounded, the commuting time can be compounded if there is congestion. The Washington State Department of Transportation collects data on the number of cars that transit over various state freeways on an annual basis. And you can see here that as the dots go from the cooler colors to the warmer colors, it means there tends to be more traffic and therefore more congestion. Now, one of the interesting things also when we're looking at commuting is how many vehicles do people have available at their residence? Well, oftentimes when you have a city environment, say Tacoma, people will have fewer cars per vehicle. For example, in Seattle, within the city limits, there are about 9% of households that have no vehicles. When you get into the more rural environments, you see people having more vehicles because they may have a truck and so forth if they live in a more rural environment. You can see here the blue bar the green bar, and then the yellow bar, which is Ponderay County, you can see that Kitsap has somewhere in between when it comes to the larger number of vehicles in the households, available to the households. Some additional interesting data that is collected by the Department of Licensing is the types of vehicles and how they're fueled. So you can see here that the typical traditional gasoline vehicle is pretty much the norm within Kitsap County. There are some electric vehicles and some hybrids as well. And this does also include commercial vehicles. Thanks for your time. It's been great sharing with you. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.